This one now is becoming exclusive. Emefiele names monarchs, army generals, and judges that have benefited from him and named them as accomplices. Wow. Now, wow. I know that this Emefiele that they are keeping, the government want to scratch crocro because this guy, by the time he's done releasing information, I'm sure even Tinubu himself will be indicted. If you don't release him on time, heads will roll. This guy is going to mention names that will get to a point they will just let him be. Corruption cannot fight corruption. That is it. Emefiele is obviously corrupt with his office, and the government that is keeping him is also corrupt in all ramifications. So corruption cannot fight corruption. All this one Tinubu is doing is gragra. Corruption cannot fight corruption. And at a point, it's going to come at equilibrium and the fight will end. I see it coming soon. All this one that are just holding Emefiele and Bawa is just gragra. That is the truth. Corruption begets corruption. And so corruption cannot fight corruption. That is it. Godwin Emefiele, the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, who is currently in the custody of the DSS, has identified some traditional rulers, Nigerian army generals, and judges as his accomplices. According to Sarah reporters, Emefiele, who is said to be cooperating with investigators, reportedly narrated how he gave money to monarchs, army generals, and judges at some point or the other during his time in office. The suspended CBN governor has been in detention along with Abdul Rashid Bawa, the suspended chairman of the EFCC, after both of them were suspended from their respective offices by President Bola Tinubu's administration over corruption allegations and abuse of office. Emefiele named Bawa as an accomplice in the naira redesign scam that rocked the country some months ago. Sarah reporters have learned that Emefiele and Bawa, both undergoing interrogation, were being quizzed on sundry issues, including naira redesign scam. DSS sources claim that Emefiele was revealing a lot and had named some top accomplices in his mismanagement of the country's Apex Bank. As per Emefiele, he is cooperating with investigators and revealing a lot. Emefiele corrupted and bribed almost every major traditional ruler, army general, some judges and clerics, and some of the sources revealed. Almost all the CBN directors are also being quizzed as they too are cooperating, he added. Emefiele was suspended sequel to the ongoing investigation into his office and the planned reforms in the financial sector of the economy, according to a release by Willie Bassi, the Director of Information for the Secretary to the State, for the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume. So on November 23, 2022, then President Muhammadu Buhari, alongside Emefiele, unveiled new naira notes in denominations of 200, 500, and 1,000 naira, respectively. Emefiele insisted that the old notes would cease to be legal tender from January 31, 2023. Addressing journalists after the event, Emefiele insisted that the move was not targeted at anyone, as there were speculations that the move was pushed by the cabal in the presidency and targeted at preventing Bola Tinubu, then presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, from winning the February 25, 2023 election. The policy cost Nigerians untold hardship due to the scarcity of naira. Due to the scarcity of naira notes. With the CBN unable to meet the demand for new notes. The policy led to a cash crisis and long queues at banks and ATMs. Emefiele, who is currently cooling his feet in the cell of the DSS, is the reason why the EFCC chairman has been detained overnight. Emefiele, who is cooperating with the DSS, claimed that Bawa was the one who raised the memo to former President Muhammadu Buhari asking that the naira should be redesigned to stem money laundering during the 2023 election. A top source had revealed revealed that as well. Bawa confronted him at the Emefiele, and the former Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, were the ones that came to him to raise the memo because they suspected Tinubu had warehouses stuffed with naira notes, the source had added. In February and March, Nigerians were subjected to extreme difficulty with the naira redesign and cashless policy due to the scarcity of the new naira notes. To make matters worse, Emefiele had refused to heed the Supreme Court ruling, which made the old notes legal tender till December 31st, before former President Muhammadu Buhari distanced himself from disobedience to the court order. DSS attempted to arrest Emefiele, but the then Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, shielded him by providing soldiers to guard his residence and office. The DSS had said it intensified its investigations to arrest and prosecute Emefiele on allegations of terrorism, financing, and fraud. New court documents obtained from the DSS indicted Emefiele for funding unknown gunmen terrorizing the southeast region of the country. Can you imagine? So, because this guy, the Hausas have used him and now they have dumped him. When the Hausas were using him, he was on top of the world and he was making his own money as well. Okay, now that now that he is being picked up now by the DSS under Tinubu's government, I wonder who will come to his rescue, because I know that it is not just CBN alone. Tinubu hates any name that is related to Igbo, and so he's going to deal with him seriously. I don't understand why this is like this. But the Emefiele himself called for all of this because normally when you're in an office, you should know that your office is temporary and you are not going to be there forever. So you should try to live a life and do a kind of job that will be beneficial to the entire public. If you do a very good job, the public will fight for you. But if you do a very dirty job, and this is the fate of people like FFK and Festus Keyamu and all of them that have done dirty job for Buhari and are doing dirty job for Tinubu in APC. But a time will come too when their lifestyle, of course, will bring problem to them, and the whole Nigerians will be so happy. Normally, nobody should rejoice over the calamity of another. But there are some people in this country that have lived a life that when calamity faces them, Nigerians will be very happy. The same way it happened to Abacha. When Abacha died, Nigerians were so happy. Okay, so Emefiele, with what he has done to Nigerians because of dirty job he was doing for the Fulanis, nobody is pitying him right now. That is the truth. And this idea of the fact that he sponsored terrorism, and I wonder who would have sponsored terrorism more than APC government. They used him to move money around. They used him in so many things. I'm sure he has more to say. And now that the Fulani government is out, they are going to deal with him like no man business. Tinubu government actually has Tinubu took it that naira redesign policy was targeted at him, and he said it, but he was going to do everything possible to make sure nobody stops him. And now he has succeeded because he had so much money to spend to buy everybody that comes his way. Now he has succeeded, and it's not the president. He's going to revenge. This one is a vengeful political fight against all forces that worked against him during the election period. That is how it's going to be. And then he's not going to let them be. He will finish the work he has started on them. And apart from him, I wonder every other person that worked for Buhari against Tinubu they will go after them, because there is normal in Nigeria. Once anybody takes over, they will start this witch hunting from end to end. So Tinubu is not going to spare Emefiele at all, and it's not going to spare Bawa as well. So that is the situation here. A lot of generals. So this man has confessed, and a lot of generals have been mentioned. That Emefiele is cooperating very well in the cell, and a lot of generals, a lot of traditional rulers, a lot of clerics, religious men, and all those people have been indicted. Okay, big people have been indicted, people that Emefiele has supported using his office, and now I'm sure they will go after some of them to come and say what they know. This is a good one. I hope this one can lead to a full-blown probe, because I'm sure by the time Emefiele finished talking, I am sure even Tinubu himself probably will not be spared, except he fails to mention his name. If not, we are still waiting to hear about the bullion van of 2019 that moved from one bank to Tinubu's house. I'm sure bullion van cannot move without Emefiele's knowledge or without any bank manager's knowledge. So that is what we see. These two people, CBN Governor Emefiele and Bawa, the former head of EFCC, definitely by the time this guy have enough information about this country that by the time they finish talking, Nigeria will go wow. So we are waiting to hear more from them.